So today we're going to be changing the thermostat in Scott's Jeep. The electric fan is running continuously. He's seeing some elevation in his engine temperature. So the first thing we wanted to look at was a sticking thermostat. So that's what we're going to be changing out today. We're going to be removing these 10mm bolts right here, pulling this hose off, this screw on this band, as well as right here, remove this air duct. There is a temperature sensor right down there that has to be unplugged and removed. And then we can pull the air duct off the throttle body and then access the thermostat down there. We'll be opening up the bottom of the radiator valve and draining some antifreeze. Once this motor cools down a little bit, before we do that, we'll take the radiator cap off, allow some air into the system. But we're just letting the engine cool right now. So that's what's going on today. All right, very simple. Little tab here on the temperature switch and the air plenum. You just squeeze right there and remove that. You can see the throttle body right there. Two 10mm bolts, undid the bands, and now we can actually access the thermostat, which is right here. Okay, so we will be draining the radiator when it cools, taking the radiator cap off. We'll be squeezing this little, there's a little hose clamp right here. Get this, pull that out. We'll just be squeezing this and sliding this back after we drain the radiator. It's quite hot right now. And slide that off, and we've got a brand new thermostat to go in here. So that's where we're at. Easy job. Okay, we had a brand new leftover stock track bar from my Jeep that I gave Scott a long time ago. And we're gonna throw that rear track bar on. So that's easy peasy. 21mm head bolts. You got a flag nut on the axle side, and up on the frame side, just a nut in the back, 21mm. So we'll put those on, and then that'll get bolted back up and torqued to 125 foot-pounds. All right, new rear track bar in place. Nice, simple job. Once again, 125 foot-pounds on the bolts. All right, we've got a slow leak in this tire. Before we leave, we're gonna throw some air in this. But we're also gonna change the front pads on Scott's Jeep. $19mm. Nice shot of the Steinjager sway bar quick disconnects. We'll be changing these pads out. Rotor looks nice, so it'll be 13mm on the outside and 15mm on the inside here. And we'll take the caliper and swing it right down where we can work on it. Take the pads out. We'll put the new guides in, grease everything with the high temperature grease, and just a quick little front brake pad change here on Scott's Jeep. All right, there was quite a bit of corrosion. JK brakes, believe it or not, kill the rear brakes before the fronts, but these are down to just slightly more than 1/8 of an inch, and it's prudent to change them. We'll put new clips in, new pads. I ended up taking the little guides off on both sides here and putting some nice anti-seize in there. You can see we got great play there, and it's all lubed up nice. So we'll be compressing this piston, obviously, to make up for the thickness of the new pad. I got some big channel locks. That's what I use. I open up the cover of the master cylinder and basically just squeeze this piston all the way in to make room for the new pads. There's a little video of the piston all the way pushed flat in, moved in nice. You can't squeeze this thing or use one of those fancy tools that AutoZone sells, then you got a messed up caliper and need to replace it. All right, quick little shot of the new clips. The JK clips are really user friendly. They go in so nice and easy. So we'll put some high temp. In my case, we're going to use 1800 degree anti-seize on there. And then I tend to put some anti-seize right here on both of those, a little bit around the piston right here, which is one of the reasons there was so much corrosion. We had a very difficult time pivoting the caliper back. So we'll goop that up and get the pads installed. Okay, beautiful new pads. Look at that. They went in beautifully. Everything's all gooped up nice, and now we'll put the wheel back on. Engine coolant is cooling. we'll do that job last. We put a new track bar on. We did the passenger front pads. Now we'll do the driver's side, and then we'll get into the thermostat job. Great day for this. Nice fall day in October. Okay, driver's side done. Really, this is a 10 to 15 minute job. So the only thing I'll mention is this is a 15 millimeter on the inside, 13 on the outside, and don't deceive yourself. This should only be torqued to like 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Don't go crazy on these. That's more than adequate. This is why I despise mice, and I'm always at war with those bastards. Common thing with the JK, they, especially this time of year, they start nesting and whatnot inside where the air intake is underneath the air filter. So we'll shop vac that out, and we're gonna take a chance and do it a little bit different. We are going to just remove the hose and try to pull it up out of the way, and we're gonna see if we can have less antifreeze flying all over the place and get this thermostat changed out quick. All right, I just used channel locks and squeezed these two teeth right here and slid the clamp. You can see it from here back a couple inches. So this will come off here really easy. And we got a moving blanket underneath the Jeep to absorb some of this, and we got a catch pan, and we'll see how bad it is. I mean, we know we're going to shake hand the moving blanket, but I think we're going to be okay. All right, Scott chose to go with the Duralast. Where'd you pick this up? AutoZone?
AutoZone.
And how much was it?
Or Advanced. I don't know.
Advanced. How much was
20 something bucks, I think.
it? $20-something. It does have the little ball bearing, little bleeder in there. We heard it rolling around, so this should do the job just fine. There it is. You can see the gasket. Sometimes that little O-ring, that little gasket right there sticks to the block. We got to make sure that comes off, and then pretty cut and dry. The old one comes off. The two bolts that held it in place were 10 millimeter, not extremely tight. And that's our new part right there. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, so this is.
That's the gasket.
This is kind of interesting. So the gasket, you can see, is stuck on it, which I'm just peeling the gasket off. Okay. We chose not to drain the radiator, and Scott just already removed it from the hose, and he's putting the new one in right now. There's a picture of the gasket. New thermostat's going in, and then we're going to work that back in. Is that in all the way?
That's where it should be.
All right. We're going to work that back into location and get the clamp on it. Doing it perhaps a little different. I mean, there were various techniques, I guess, but this is working for us, so far so good. All right, the thermostat was changed relatively easy with, he had bought some antifreeze, but his intent was not to flush the radiator or change the antifreeze. He needs, according to the Mopar spec, HOAT antifreeze. He did buy some, but the thermostat's back in, radiator cap is off, really hardly lost any antifreeze whatsoever. So we're gonna put this air duct back together and cleaning out the air filter now and put this thing back together and start her up. Okay, the air cleaner's back in, the air intake is getting installed, and you got to always remember that air temperature switch. This is really easy. Make sure you get this hose has to come up. See this hose? It needs to be on the outside on those clamps. Little hose down to the overflow. Really one of the easier jobs on the JK, changing the thermostat. All right, everything's all buttoned up. We're going to start the vehicle, let it get up to temperature, and hopefully we notice the normal temperature rating, which is about halfway on the scale that you usually see with the JK. He was getting an elevated temperature reading, as well as his electric booster fan was running almost nonstop. Okay, so one good thing is the needle is at the 50% mark, which is where it always was. when he didn't have any issues. So that's encouraging as far as the engine being at the proper temperature. So I believe that the thermostat has rectified that. We may have another issue as we're not feeling any hot air coming out of the heater. All right, we successfully changed the thermostat, but we want to draw some attention to something. When you look into the JK radiator like we did, you look straight down and you say, oh, look at, I see all of that shiny liquid right there. That is nothing. That's like just a tiny little 32nd of an inch of level. You think you're full, but you look on an angle, like we did, and we found that, wow, he was extremely low on coolant, which was a big part of the problem. So we're adding coolant right now. So keep that in mind, you JK owners out there. You got to look in on an angle right here. And we found that he was low in coolant, and we're getting huge performance in. So basically now the cooling fan isn't coming in at all, and we've had to add antifreeze. So one of his main problems, perhaps maybe even wasn't the thermostat. Thermostat was cheap. It was easy to change, but I think we had a low level of antifreeze issue. So we're adding that right now. We're already seeing big gains, and the electric fan has not even come on. All right, we believe we have the radiator all topped off nicely. Big difference. So now that fan appears to be like a 2-speed fan, and his was really cranking on high speed, extremely loud, doing everything it could. And now with to be quite honest, this system took 3/4 of antifreeze. So perhaps when he acquired this Jeep, it was already low, or maybe there's another issue and he's losing antifreeze through the motor somehow. But we're seeing a big improvement now that it has the proper antifreeze level. All right, hopefully that's it. Recon Jeeper out. All right, so we have Scott's Jeep all squared away, which we're both really happy about. And we said, you know what? We got this road down by me. We're gonna go down there and check it out and do a little shakedown run. I'm gonna got a little bit of time before I go into work. I'm gonna air down and take a little trail here, test things out, make sure we're doing okay. So that's what's going on right now. A little shakedown run to kind of test out 4-low, test out the lockers, check out the new axle shaft, and Scott obviously wants to check his rig out as well. All right. So we're just in 4-low, and it's a nice little trail here to kind of check things out, make sure we're okay. Obviously at some point I want to just engage my rear and front lockers and just make sure that they're okay as well. So this is kind of nice. Still pretty wet and a little more muddier than I expected. Wow. Got a big leaning ash tree right here. Geez, a big ash tree leaning there. Yeah, she's running nice. That's my CB microphone bouncing all over the place. Usually I have that all disconnected, but just a little simple shakedown run to test a few things. This morning was the first time that I had moved my Jeep really in about a month, and in the driveway I did not hear that whining sound. I'm probably gonna have to take it into work and get it out on the road again. Uh-oh, I see some down trees up here, at least going straight. Maybe we can make this left turn. Nah, I think we're gonna be screwed. Oh, that really sucks. And I don't have my chainsaw with me, so I don't think we're gonna be able to pass much further than this. Wow, that really sucks. Well, of all the shit luck, big ass freaking tree down. With a chainsaw, I could make short work of this with Scott in about 10 minutes, but we don't have that with us. This was just going to be a quick little shakedown run, so unless I can see a way around this, it doesn't look good. So anyway, due to time, I really want to test my lockers out, so I've asked Scott to just kind of spot me through this shit, curve around over to the right through some of that, over that stone wall and get back on the trail. And then I'm probably just going to turn around and we'll head back. But I do want to test both my front locker and rear locker. This will be a good test. So unfortunately, without the chainsaw, can't cut that tree up today. But I do see a semi-challenging go around. Should be interesting.
Hey, probably let's back it up. Okay, you got that tree? Yeah, you got that tree right there.
Might need you to close the mirror, or I gotta. All right, well, happily we did a little shakedown run, and my lockers worked perfectly. They came on and off instantly. Due to time constraints, got to get into work. It was kind of just a short little brief checkout run, but seemed okay. Still like to really test it out more before I get ready and get on one of our harder trails, but so far so good. That was with the new RCV front axle shaft on the driver's side. You know, obviously I had to put some new pads on it all the way around, new brakes, and most recently just working out all the bugs and making sure that the locker is going to work okay. So anyway, we set out with some shit to accomplish today, and we did that. And till another day, Recon Jeeper out.